the Port Harcourt Enugu road when it was very good. If robbers tried them, they would run them down because the roads were very good. And there was nowhere for the robber to hide. So let me just, any economic city, the agreement is signed. That's the way to go. That's done and we're moving. Empower, that's gone. So we need more of it. We need a Oka industrial city. We need all those things everywhere. I think that we need to set a vision for ourselves to say that the Southeast can become the most prosperous and globally competitive region within the mint economies at 2035. That's doable. We can do it. And the pillars will be energy, tourism, everything. But politically, we need a united objective. We must position ourselves politically and link it to economic agenda because we're in a larger society for us to prosper. But also, we need to humble ourselves. These are the geopolitical zones in Nigeria. You can see that in terms of land mass, we are the smallest, but we can punch more than our size using our brains, and that's what we should try to do. We have done it before. Anybody who knows about the Eastern Nigeria Economic Plan that was done in 1954 to 64, it was visioned by Zik, written by Ndono Ojike, implemented by M.I. Okpara, M.I. Power in this place. What it led to was that Eastern Nigeria became the fastest growing economy in the entire world. We can recreate that again. So remember that. That's Zik, that's Okpara. It's happened before. Look at palm oil. Palm oil drove the economy of Nigeria. Where did it come from? From the Southeast. That's why, if you look, the greatest number of train stations anywhere in Nigeria are here, in the Southeast. And they were called beaches. They were not called train stations. They were called beaches. They were points of export from Nigeria to other parts of the world. That's our golden thing. So, you can see all the things people have talked about us, what Paul Lambert talked about, what Chinua Achebe did. We can, Igwe. It's only in the Southeast that you see community secondary schools, and there's a reason for it. There's not a part of Nigeria you see community secondary schools. So part of our problem is that we're losing our values. We need to bring back our values. Apprenticeship is the Igbo store of capital. We need to continue to do those things. We shouldn't be talking about Second Niger Bridge. We should be talking about the Fourth Niger Bridge. Because Asaba and Onitsha are the same thing. People should. So we should take infrastructure to that level. This is what the Southeast can look like. I don't want to spend time on talking about, but look at rail length across the nation. We are about the smallest. Look at total length of roads. We are also about the smallest. But look at, passenger flights. We are the largest. But how many international airports do we have? These are some facts about Igbo land. But let me go straight to some conclusions before, so that even if I'm caught up with time, I finish my presentation. We have an infrastructure emergency in the Southeast. And there has to be an urgent and immediate action to avoid a major social disorder. Because poverty anywhere is a threat to security everywhere. Now, public and private sector in the Southeast need to come together, to sort of resolve this problem. We need urgent capacity building, and we need an inclusional framework. Seredec is a good start, but then we need to pull that effort with the government to be able to drive infrastructure with our master plan. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. So look at the critical list of infrastructure I've drawn up for the Southeast. It goes from roads down to agriculture. Look at the roads, Enugu to Port Harcourt, ring roads, everything. They're very critical. So Indians have given us an example that we can build on. Then look at aviation, airports all over the place, aviation training centers. We can build on that. Ports and ICDs, Bonny Deep Seaport, Ebom Deep Water Port, those are critical to the Southeast because of where we are. Then inland container depots and navigation. The rail is very key for us to move. This is the existing network, these are stations. Healthcare. The Southeast has the manpower to be able to create a health tourist destination, just like the Dubai healthcare city. The Southeast can be Nigeria's healthcare city. Anybody who is sick will come here and spend money and be healed. These are mobile clinics that can go around and solve our problems. This is the typical framework for PPP. This is agriculture. This is what is happening in India that we can copy shamelessly on. Because what I tell people is that, look, when you copy and paste is imitation. But when you copy, mix, and paste is innovation. And that is what the Southeast is very good at. It's innovation. So this is the Songhai model. We can, and it's a Southeast man doing it in Benin Republic. We can do this all over the Southeast. It's not the land, but it's the sophistication of the agriculture that can pull and pull our places together. This is what is possible. This is what is possible. This is what is possible. Industrialization, all our clusters and everything, we can pull that together. This is a bomb deep seaport critical for education. We need education to create the human capital. Power distribution and transmission, just like Chika said, talk. You cannot develop in darkness. You cannot industrialize in darkness. And we are gas rich, so we need to do those things to put it together. This is a good example. This is solar power. This is tourism. The long juju of Arochukwu, Ojukwu Bunker, or Waterfall, very close. Here, people from Enugu will travel to Niagara Falls in Canada to look at waterfall, but they will not go to Nightman to go to Oum to see a waterfall. We need to reverse things like that and the low money. These are markets which can become huge. These are truck stops. We moved trailers, we have cars. If you look at transit stations, the East is very good at owning buses, but these transit stations can become major economic centers. We need to do them on a public-private partnership basis. So this is financing. This is kind of strategy I pulled out that we can use Saradec as a major factor to pull around in the country. When you get the slides, you will see more of it. So this is about PPPs, which is the way we can develop them, but I don't have the time to go through all of them, but you can see them in the material. We have a guy from Dubai here. Transforming the Southeast is doable. This is what Dubai looked at in 1990. Excuse me, am I wrong? I'm not wrong. That is Sheikh El Zahab Road. Anybody who knows it, that's that road. That is the same Dubai in 2003. 13 years. We can do the same thing here in the Southeast. For those who go, this is Oshodi. This is Oshodi 2009. So we can have rapid transformation. It's doable here. This is Dubai Fishing Village in Saudi Arabia. This is the same place. Now, I want to share some wise sayings with you. This is from, Sheikh Maktoum, agriculture. This is Igbos who can see, copy from Israel and be a substitute. But let me just, I'm finishing. I just 1 minute. Adversity in a donkey. People in the Southeast, complain. We should see ourselves as a donkey in a well, which is not a bad thing. This is an example where a farmer, he saw his donkey fall into the well, and then the thing was crying, but the farmer realized that the donkey was old and decided to abandon it and kill it. So he called his neighbors to come and help him. They all each grabbed a shovel, and they were carrying sand and pouring on the donkey. The donkey cried because, they were trying to bury him. But after some time, what the donkey did was, it will shake off the sand, and the thing will fall on the ground, it will step on it. Then we pour more, it will shake it off, it will step, and suddenly the donkey walked out of the well. So this is a good example for Igbos. Nigeria will throw all debt at us. They can say anything. But the trick to getting out of it is that we should use that sand as a stepping stone, shake ourselves, come out of the well and show Nigeria what we can do. My last 2 slides, every morning, if you go to Yankari Games Reserve, you will see a lion. The lion knows he must run faster than the fastest gazelle, or he will starve to death. If you see a gazelle, the gazelle knows he must run faster than the fastest lion, or he will become dead meat. My dear brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle in Igbo land. When you wake up, start running to develop infrastructure. Thank you very much.